The water, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. As always, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah is the Father's true name. That means He is, He exists. Yahawashi is the Son's true name. That means He saves, He delivers. And Rakakwadash is how you say Holy Spirit in the ancient Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew, also known as the Lashawan Kodash, the holy language, the holy tongue. Alright. Second of all, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, and Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. Let's get right into this one, man. Lesson brought to you in the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. I'm going to start it, Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. All right, that's Ecclesiastes 12:1. And right now, we are in these evil days. Okay? I'm going to bring up 2 articles showcasing that. And, the tensions around wherever, pretty much wherever you live in. All right? Regardless, from Australia to Alaska, man. This place is acting up. That's how we know we in them days, once again. So, let's go over here. And as it reads, global violence reaches record levels due to war and attacks on civilians. And this is on June 9th, 2026, 4:44 a.m. It's hilarious, I find. I just realized that. All right. Attacks on civilians have brought global violence to record levels. NPR's Lilia Fidel talks to researchers Therese Pedersen at Uppsala University in Sweden. The conflict in Sudan is just one of the armed conflicts pushing global violence to record highs. All right. They track global violence for the Department of Peace and Conflict Research at Uppsala University in Sweden. What does your research show us about how violent the world is right now overall? And this individual says, the main finding is that the number of armed conflicts involving states reached a record high in 2025, and of those conflicts, also the number of conflicts between states, where states are involved on both sides. Those doubled for the second year in a row, reaching the highest level recorded by that university since the data collection started in 1946. And we also see a record high number of fatalities. It's the second deadliest year since the Rwanda genocide in 1994. So overall, it's definitely a more violent world at the moment. And that's just stemming in Sudan. And furthermore, they're saying it's globally happening all over the world. Okay? Now, most people focus on, Russia and Ukraine, or Iran and Israel. But as watchmen, we know there's plenty other conflicts going on out there, because Yahawashi told us that these things will happen. It's not just going to be these psyops or these, proxy wars, okay? But you have real, true blue conflicts that's taking place in other places where people are really, truly dying, man. And stuff is popping off. Not to say, people ain't dying in Iran and all that. That has to happen. That's according to prophecy. But also, you're going to have, wars with the cartels, all right? All that stuff that we just read going on in Africa. Okay, you're going to have certain things going on in China, with Taiwan and China, coming to blows eventually. So we have our eyes open for everything that's taking place. Like I said, from Australia to Alaska, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi has awoken his men and raised them up to speak and be the true news, the true broadcasters of this apocalypse, man, of everything that's taking place. All right. Fidel says, the biggest that we're hearing about right now is Israel's war in Gaza and Russia and Ukraine. That's what I just said. Yeah, because that's the narrative that they're pushing. All right. And Gaza is also one of the deadliest conflicts, but the Russian-Ukraine war accounted for around 62% of the global fatalities in state-based armed conflict. Sudan is dominating the one-sided violence against civilians category, but the world's deadliest conflict was, in fact, Russia and Ukraine. That's an open-scale war, So that we would expect that to be, all right? But you have all these different type of major conflicts, or you call them minor conflicts taking place. Like a major one that and it will be a major one, was between India and Pakistan, two nuclear capable countries. And they literally was fighting with jets, okay, a couple months ago. So that right there is something to keep in mind, that you have the alliances being picked. You have alliances being, made. And when it all pops off, WW3, you're going to have these countries aligning with one another and fighting against these other countries, because they've been had beef with other countries and other nations. So the reason China doesn't move on Taiwan is because Taiwan is, in an alliance with America. But the chips that Taiwan makes is vital for ICBM production, for AI production, because Taiwan makes about 60% of the RFIDs on this planet, So got economic reasons, okay, which the stuff will be broke. All right, it's gonna get to a point of no return. That's where we're heading to. Okay, getting some more over here. Salakia. All right, we're good. We don't do not disturb. Verse 2. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. The wisdom is being took from this place. Their counsel is being brought down low. All their think tanks, all their, secret societies, and these plots and schemes that they're making towards the prophets and towards this world in general is being brought down low. Okay? That's why the keepers of the house, Esau, Edom, the banking families, they're trembling. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease. Unemployment is at a high. Trump's, he's always pushing that we have the best economy, and that's a damn lie, man. All right? You have people with less jobs out here. You have gentrification and mortgage rates, and all of that is at a sky high. Okay, people, it's actually on the market now. It's more houses for sale than actually buyers. That's not good for the economy. So that means these houses are just gonna sit. Well, you got homeless people and stuff. You could house these people, but this is not a logical ran nation, man. It's not a nation that actually cares about the well-being of their civilians. Okay? And that's why the grinding is ceasing. And AI is taking over everything. AI is taking over all the production and stuff. And those that look out of the windows will be darkened. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird. And all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay? So whatever you singing, whatever song, which is your doctrine, making you a daughter of music, all right, is going to be brought low. That furthermore goes into even us, okay, where you have the famine of the word coming, where this song that we're singing, we're going to be took up off the corners, took up off the YouTube, off the TikToks, off the whatever it be. And, we're going to be cast into prison, all right, for 10 days. That's a perfect number of days. Or martyred, or we're going to hiding, be as pilgrims upon the earth. And we understand that, and these things must come, right? And we're not tripping about it. This is, let's get that, man. You shall suffer persecution, right? This is 2 Timothy 3:12. Yea, and all that will live godly in Hamashiach Yahawashi shall suffer persecution, right? So when you become a part of this thing, okay, and you got to understand. I mean, I've been watching Supernatural a lot. Good show. If brothers ever watched it, you already know what I'm talking about. All right, but it's a key thing where they tell anybody that begins to fight these supernatural beings, okay, you are in this thing for life. You want your family, you have to forsake that, because everything is in danger now. You're in this thing for life, all right? So you got to put off the weak nature, as the book of 2nd Esdras tells us, You got to lay that aside. You got to set thy house in order. You know what I'm saying? So get ready for the persecution. Get ready for all the uproars, all the feedback that you're going to get. It's not going to be good feedback, man. You know, yeah, from the brothers, yeah, you know, brothers is going to be with you, etc. All right? But even in that, wise men take rebuke, correction, all of this. So we're making the extra step to be better, to better our life and to be better individuals. And in majority of this world, they're not doing that, man. They're not ready for persecution. They'll take a simple correction and get in their feelings and run away. You know, and that's just how this world has accustomed them to be. Okay? Let's go to John, 15th chapter, and verse 18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. All right? But it hated Yahawashi first. So a similar lot we're walking in. We have to go forth and take the same persecution that he was taking. Family members and those from his hometown and people that knew him and grew up with him, they was like, you're not who you say you are. We grew up with you. You know, you're Joseph's son. You're the carpenter's son, etc., etc. So they're looking at you with that same old man on you. But it's not on you, though, because you changed. But they can't see it because they don't believe, and the Most High is not drawing them to believe. He pulled you up out of your city and put you up as a light. Right? Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. Right? So let's keep it going. Let's go back to the article. Okay. Going down here to Fidel. What other conflicts do you categorize as one-sided violence against civilians? So, one-sided violence against civilians is carried out by both non-state actors such as IS, the Islamic State, in many countries, RSF, and Sudan, but we also have state actors carrying out this type of violence. So some notable cases from 2025 is the government of Syria, which has had troubles managing the ethnic tensions in the country following the fall of the Assad regime. So we've seen a lot of massacres of civilians in the coastal areas and in the south, and also in Tanzania following the October 2025 elections, where we had a lot of violence carried out against protesters, etc., etc. So adding all this up and categorize it as one word is sedition. Okay? Where you have governments fighting their civilians due to sedition, due to uproar, due to riots, due to civil unrest, you know. So that's definitely taking place, and you know we could keep going in it, but that's pretty much the gist of it. All right, they're taking data on these type of things. All right, and there's far more conflicts happening. Okay, let's get this one right here. This just recent. Police step up security in Northern Ireland after night of violence. Cars and a bus were set on fire and families were driven from their homes after a stabbing caused tensions to spill onto the streets. This is in Northern Ireland, man, in Belfast, right? The police in Northern Ireland were increasing their presence on Wednesday, and political leaders were urging restraint after a night of violence roiled the country in the wake of a brutal stabbing attack in Belfast. Now, these type of situations, man, you normally see these things happening in America, right? So when they're becoming common in different countries now, you know, I remember back a couple of years ago, that France shooting, they blew up a train. You know, I think they blamed it on ISIS, something like that, which that's a U.S.-funded organization. CIA is heavy in that, okay? So you're seeing a lot of insurrection. You're seeing a lot of order out of chaos type tactics that's going on, where things are being embedded into these places, you know, and hey, Esau is running rampant, man. You know, that's what he's doing. He's letting his agents go loose. And he shows you that in many movies, such as James Bond, right? The latest 5 movies that he dropped. Pretty good movies. I watched them all, where they showing you how they got agents in all these different locations and they can cause chaos if they want to. That Man on Fire series on Netflix, where they had what you call the Jackal, dude sent by the CIA to cause chaos in a country or get a country to agree to the terms that they bring. So these are these type of things, man. And it could be real civil unrest, which that happens too. Okay, so that's what we're seeing, man, in these places. All right, firefighters and emergency responders escorted immigrant families from homes that have been set aright in Belfast on Tuesday night. Burning cars blazed on the streets, and a city bus was set on fire by a group that appeared to be mostly young men, many of them masked. Garbage cans engulfed in flames were used to create roadblocks elsewhere in the city. 2 police officers were injured in the unrest, described by the police as sporadic pockets of disorder across Northern Ireland. Sporadic, out of nowhere. The violence came after the authorities charged Heidi Alodiad, a 30-year-old Sudanese man, with attempted murder in the stabbing attack Monday night, prompting calls from anti-immigrant activists for protests amid heightened tensions in the UK over immigration. So as they're feeling it over there, the same way we felt it, they're more prone to act. They're more prone to attack and lash out. They had enough. That's what it seems to be. And that's not their land anyway. Okay, if we being honest. Alright? But you have these tensions and you have the narrative that has been pushed, man, by these Edomites. Alright? They put fuel to the fire with this immigration thing and bringing all these refugees in and saying that they're going to ruin the country and all of this. Man, these are human beings, man. Alright? At the end of the day, and they're all not on that gang shit. They're all not on that terrorist like tip and stuff that y'all making them up to be. But hey, the sheep are gonna believe anything, and they're gonna fight over it, believing it to be true. Look at 9/11. They believed it to be true, and they went and lost their life over it. So it is what it is, man. All right. So hey, that's the point. Get one more precept, because all they're doing is running their little schemes. They're running their little plots. Okay, this is Psalm 64, verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. The elect will not fall to these traps. All right, not to be out there. Not to be shooting. Not to, fight against the government, okay, in that type of way. The way we fight is preaching. It's spiritual. Our weapons are not carnal. We're waiting on Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. That's how we fight back, right? Who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. They're attacking you in their law system, through their work, through their Congress, through these laws, through the decrees that they're decreeing. Unrighteous decrees. That's how they always attack too. Before they come in with the military. Okay? They gave the power to ICE. Well, they don't have to report. They no longer have to report about these detainees and stuff. They just arresting people. They gave them, immunity. They can unalive somebody and get away with it. This stuff is going to be used, man. Okay? It's been passed through laws. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They don't fear the Most High, and they don't fear his kids. But they truly do, because they're trembling, as we know. Because they know they don't woke up them like, hey, Yahweh ain't never been asleep. Don't get it twisted. But it's the time where he's visiting this place. So they know that they have but a short time. That's why they coming down with great wrath. They know it's over. All right? Verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Every single one of them, they're moving in some form of fashion, they hate you. And they don't want to see you live. Alright? If they had it where they could kill you and get away with it, they would do it. That's how they're moving. Down to the trailer trash Edomite, all the way up to the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, banking families. So hey, I pray this has been an edifying one, man. We are not going to fall to these traps. Yahawah, we be of that number. We're not going to fall to these ploys and these strategies and these wiles of the devil, which he's putting out. Hey, keep the faith, man. May Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi be with you and your household. Alright, so giving all praises, honor, and glory be to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi Bahasham Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as 1/3. As always, keep the faith. Shalawam, Shalawam, Kwam Yasharahla, and abide babal. Shalawam, Shalawam.